Hey there, welcome to Only Stupid Answers. My name is Sam Basher.
I'm DJ Wooldridge.
Today we're talking about Titans Season 2, Episode 5, Deathstroke. With the team thrown into upheaval, Dick and the others vow to do everything in their power to save Jason Todd's life. Gar's guilt over Jason's kidnapping complicates the mission to save their fellow Titan, while Rachel's Darkseeker continues to gnaw at her. When Deathstroke demands they turn over Rose in exchange for Jason, the moral crisis threatens to tear the team apart from the inside. Bye-bye, Michael Mosley.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, this is full spoilers. What did you? So okay, we're gonna dive right into it. So that happened, and I was appropriately surprised. And I couldn't figure out whether it was a good decision because on the one hand, surprising. Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
On the other hand, kind of a waste. Like, did Dr. Light really do anything this season other than be around?
I mean, he got his ass handed to him. A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
He'd be like, he's sucking up all the lights in the city, and then he got beat by by Robin number 2.
Did Deathstroke need him to accomplish any of the things that he accomplished?
He was able to... So he said he brought the Titans to San Francisco. That's what he said he did.
Dr. Light?
Yeah. Which, remember when he blew up that kid?
Yeah.
So he made Hawk and Dove come over.
Yeah.
Not Donna.
No.
Donna came over cuz.
Yeah.
And they didn't know about Corey, clearly.
Did he need them in San Francisco?
It's easier.
See, you get them all in one spot.
Yeah.
But that's how revenge works.
I like the trade with Rose and Jason. I like Jason's whole, like, taking on Dr. Light, but, like, come on.
Yeah.
Jason Todd's not, as a kid, is not going to take on Deathstroke and win.
No, not at all.
No Robin's going to take on Deathstroke. Even Damian Wayne, I don't know.
I call shenanigans on Damian Wayne being able to take Deathstroke.
So, Aqualad, I gotta bring this up again. Do you think that, like, people are tweeting at us and commenting in the videos that Aqualad was an accident, and they were aiming for either Donna or her handler or both of them, but Aqualad was an accident being killed?
I do think Aqualad was an accident. I don't know what the alternative would have been, and also why he didn't finish the job later. Maybe it wasn't. But it is.
I don't think it was an accident. No, that's fine. But like, and also I could see the writers being like, it was an accident. So like everything with Jericho becomes even more complicated. But I'm like, tell me the best assassin in the world couldn't wait like didn't pull the trigger earlier and didn't wait like 5 seconds for Aqualad to turn around, or was like, I guess I just gotta unload a bunch of guns, or a bunch of bullets.
Hey, when in doubt, unload a bunch of bullets.
Yeah. I just was like. The Deathstroke I know is usually like way smarter, and he's like really capable, so like he wouldn't do that.
I will say, just out of whether it was an accident or not, but I think I felt that way and other people felt that way because it is traditional, like they're aiming and then suddenly the one person gets in the way and it was after they pulled the trigger, so it was you know what I mean? Like that's kind of a common genre trope.
The way the scene happened was they're facing this way.
Yeah.
They're looking at it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, do a diagram.
There you go.
Right.
So this is, the red is Aqualad, obviously. Yeah. Blue is Donna. So they're like, bye.
Yeah.
And then Garth turns around. Boop.
Yeah.
So the line of sight was always the same. He never
that's a good point.
He didn't wasn't running back and forth.
I will say this. This particular episode. I overall enjoy this episode.
We're talking about the previous episode.
But it does have a few writing hiccups that are pet peeves of mine that show up semi often in our CW shows, which is like the one where it's like a character has a perspective, and then like 2 scenes later has a different perspective, and then somebody calls them out as if to like paper over the writing mistake. It's like, wait, didn't you have a different opinion? And the person's always like, wow, I changed my opinion.
There has to be internal conflict every episode. No one can be working together.
And so this episode, we've got Hawk that is like, hey, Rob, and I actually really like, anytime like, because they don't really like each other. Anytime like Hank and Dick are kind of on the same page, I feel it's like, oh, cool, they're being adults. You know what I mean? Especially Hank, because Hank has his issues.
He looks 40.
Yeah.
He could be 40. I don't know.
And so he's like, Dick, this isn't your fault. It's Jason's fault. Da, da, da. And then they're in the sewer, and then he's like, this is all your fault, Dick, that he was grabbed. And it's like, time out. What? Like, you were just a mature adult like 10 seconds ago. Anyway.
I agree. So maybe Flash is very guilty of that.
So maybe Garth, we'll find out later whether it was meant to be an accident.
That's a different episode. Yeah. it felt silly that if that's the reason, it was in the way.
But overall, this episode I think continued to make Deathstroke look very capable, very scary.
The costume looks cooler up front. I like the way the mask has like the little vent things.
Yeah.
I kind of wish the Deadshot mask looked like that, not like a sock.
Yeah, I mean, like, and honestly, I don't think they're doing this kind of thing anymore. But if they'd been like, "There's a Deathstroke spinoff series," I'd be way on board. Like, with this version of him, like, I really like what they're doing with the character, and the fight scene was really cool. You can tell, like, there's a reason they brought back, and they've been emphasizing Hawk and Dove and Donna because they clearly struggle with anybody else's powers. You know what I mean? But like the fight between Dick and Starfire and Deathstroke, for what it was cool.
It was cool, and I liked Deathstroke having some kind of countermeasures for Corey. He didn't know. It felt like he didn't know she was going to be there. It was a surprise. It was as much of a surprise as it was for Dick.
Yeah.
So he just kind of was just throwing bombs at her to see what would happen. But all of it was the way they showed it was super cool.
Do you think we're gonna see Starfire fly? Because so the episode ends with like, oh no, bombs, and Jason's falling, and it's like at a moment like, because it's Jason, it's like, will they? And then like, well, no, if they were, he would have died. That would have been the cliffhanger, not will he? But I was trying to think of like
with him just kicking on the.
Although that would be great, just a long shot of like a couple bickering in a car, and then suddenly just slams onto the hood. But I was trying to think of how you save him in this situation. It'd be cool if maybe we see Corey fly.
That could be. I think that makes sense because they even were kind of setting it up because they were talking about in this episode. They're like, yeah, every Tamaranian has a lot of power when they're born, but me couldn't contain me. Got so much in me. It's crazy. Don't even know what to do with it. And so having her
this
like
is pertinent because you've seen a bunch of other
also,
Tamaranians in their powers, so you clearly have a point of reference.
It would be insane if she jumped out the window because she has no way of knowing if that's going to happen. We have never seen her get anywhere close.
Yeah,
she just got her memories back. Remember that? She was amnesiac. She didn't. Now she's like, yeah, I got like this boyfriend. He keeps yapping, wanting to go back to my home planet. And
it reminded me, I gotta fly. I can fly.
Could it be Superboy?
Superboy. Yeah. Although jump
and catch.
Yes, and they do have the lead in. Like, there's that one little scene where Hawk and Dove and Donna are all kind of realizing what's happening someplace else. Mm-hmm. Like, but I don't know what any of them could do to save.
Donna
Jason.
could like jump.
Maybe
could jump.
I think you might be right. This might be the way we introduce Superboy
because we're like a few episodes away from him.
Yeah. I have to be
like because the Corey of course could go do it. It's just if you got a gun, you got a semi-automatic gun, and you're like, whoa, everybody gets one of these. That's crazy. But me, I got an automatic gun. That's what I can use this as a gun. I wouldn't try to jump off a roof and like aim it down and shoot the gun to get me to stay up in the air. Is this a bad analogy? Not really. It's pretty close because we're talking about make believe.
But I think but maybe she knows she can fly. You're assuming she doesn't know she can fly.
But she hasn't like. If you could fly, wouldn't you fly?
Like, maybe it's not fun. Maybe she gets her tummy gets sick, just like Jessica Jones.
You're not wrong. I get it. Like
I threw you off because I mentioned Jessica Jones. You're like, I did like that.
I did like that show. Yeah. She could possibly do it. She could possibly do it.
Or cool. Superboy. I think Superboy is a pretty good one.
And like Donna can jump too, so it's like it just kind of depends. And maybe he's out of commission for a while. I mean, throw it out there, Beast Boy. Maybe he's got a bird hidden up in him. And
well, he's back at the tower.
Raven can fly.
Raven can fly. Also back at the tower. I will also say this: what is the extent of Rose's healing abilities? Because she got really messed up with Raven, and yet she's still missing her eye.
Yeah. Because I
kind of forgot that she had. I forgot she had the healing abilities.
Well, so does same with Deathstroke.
Yeah,
because his eye doesn't come back either.
But does he have healing abilities?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's where she got it from. Yeah, maybe not in the show, but that's the thing.
Yeah, because I know he has he take drugs that like heightened his abilities and stuff like that. I didn't know it was like that level of.
Yeah, he heals really fast.
Cool.
Not like Wolverine, but like it's really good. And like
and not his eye.
Not his eye. And I think that's because they kind of were like
to the drugs maybe.
No, or they usually said it was because like an eye's tissue doesn't like regenerate the same way. It's like kind of like the brain.
Sure.
Like people get eye surgery all the time and they heal back up. It's just they didn't want it. Also, like now thinking about that, the eye that has the little tracking dot on it, the little crosshairs, is the eye that's
missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unless that's doing something on its own,
no, that's just That's something he put on there.
That's a little sticker he put there to look cool.
I hope he lifts it up at one point, has like a little treat back there or something, like a note.
I've been keeping this for you.
Yeah, honestly, like Jericho's stuff in the last episode was so interesting, and I really like Cheloman's. You can also tell me how to pronounce his name correctly. I watched an interview, that's how I heard it. I like his performance a lot as Jericho, and I want to see more of that. I want to know what happened, because so far this Deathstroke is really cool, and he hates Dick. I like his point of view of Dick Grayson, where it's like, yeah, you kind of like are making child soldiers, and you think you're doing it for a good reason, and it's like, if you're trying to do a grounded superhero show, it's like, Deathstroke's got a point.
Yeah.
He's a soldier. He made a bunch of choices to do this. Like, yeah, these people are super powered and they're kids and they're like loners, but it's kind of like you picked up runaways and now you're training them to fight.
Yeah.
There's problems.
Yeah.
It's problematic.
I mean, it's what Professor X does.
Again, problematic.
Yeah, problematic. Yeah, so
In Dark Phoenix, he shoots him out into space. It was like, go figure it out. Figure it out, dipshits. You can get it.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I was actually kind of wondering, maybe because we're still talking around what happened. I kind of thought, like, maybe let's just finish out the flashback. And what if Jericho actually joins that Titans? He's actually part of that team for a while, and then all the bad stuff happens.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Also, if he can project his consciousness on other people, he might still be around someplace.
Which would be cool as well. And I don't know who they'd pick for that exactly, but
What if it's Hank?
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be rough. That'd be confusing. I mean, all of it would be confusing.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
It would be. There's a lot of, it would be, yep. I don't know.
What if Garth comes back and he's like got like a hole in his neck or head or whatever it is, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And it's like, "It's me, Jericho," and you're like, "Oh, this is weird. This is super weird," because it's like you got rid of a person of color on your show, but you brought him back.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It turns out DC don't take that
Don't take my bad advice.
Yeah, but I like the dynamic of all the team members. I liked the idea of, the trade-off between Rose and Jason and what you do, because they really haven't known Rose all that long. Again, I like the little seeds we keep planting towards Nightwing. There was the one, I think was he fighting Rose a couple episodes back, and the sticks broke and he had the 2 sticks.
Oh, and he had the baton.
Yeah, and I'm a sucker for that shit. So I'm excited for all of that stuff. And I think the one that always surprised me, even though I did mention the not so great writing before, is Hank, because he should be a fairly one-note character, but the way that actor portrays him makes him very likable. And even though he is not a great person.
Yeah. I like that Dawn, because that she's Dove, and it's usually like a more peaceful character, I really like the way Minka Kelly and the writers have kind of brought that character to life, where she is more... Damaged is the first word that came to mind, but it's not that. It's that she's just more aggressive and headstrong than I would have thought. And I like that. And weirdly, I felt like that would be more of a personality for Donna Troy, because she's an Amazonian warrior. But I like that they flipped that on its head, and they allow her to be more emotional as well. Like, not that Dawn Dawn, her name is Dawn, right?
Her name is
Okay.
Dawn,
Trying to remember all the character
Hank
names.
and Dawn.
Hank and
Dawn.
Dawn.
And then there's Donna.
Yeah.
By the way, I like Starfire's habit of calling people by their last name, because it's very, like, I'd much prefer Grayson over Dick. And she calls Donna Troy, which is great when you have a Dawn running around. I like that character trait. And it was cool having her back. It's cool that they have one of the newer team be a part of the adults. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not disliking this show. I thought the Deathstroke Corey Dick Grayson fight was cool.
Yeah.
I want to know what you guys think for who could possibly save Jason. Or do you think he's just going to explode when he hits the pavement? Maybe he's got a Batman gadget. He could have a grappling hook.
Have something, because it looks like he still has his gear on, which feels like a mistake on the part of Deathstroke.
Yeah, because he still was able to untie himself.
Yeah.
Which, again, it seems like... In my head, like, Deathstroke's like... They call him the Terminator because he's like a machine. Mm-hmm. He is very capable, and that's why it's very scary that kids have to go up against him, or teens, or young adults, or whatever. It's like, you should not win this fight.
Yeah. Do you want to see this stroke fight that Bruce Wayne in this show?
That one is going to be... I'm going to give him one like whack to the back of the knee, and he's not going to stand up for a while. Sorry, Ian Glenn. Did you see Deathstroke? He's crazy.
Yeah.
His sword's dope.
Yeah.
His sword's really cool. And all his grenades and stuff.
Seriously, I'm way on board with Deathstroke. I actually would be very interested in a spin-off series with this Deathstroke.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
The guy who directed The Raid,
he's supposed to do
Deathstroke movie.
Yes.
Joe Manganiello.
Yep.
Get him to do the show.
Which would be cool. Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't do it.
No.
Would you
he's
do
making movies.
I mean,
let's send him a letter.
they got James Bond to be in one of these shows. They got Timothy Dalton. They could probably get him.
Sure did. I'm excited for that show to come back.
Me too.
I really want. We keep getting casting news for these Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I really want somebody from these shows to pop over.
Who, if you had to pick one, like let's pick one person, just one.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But I think I go with this just because it's my one shot to get what I want. Now that it's done, is Swamp Thing. Just to see him hang out with Constantine, like, and it's just that because it's like the show's done, so my only shot to see that is if he shows up in the crossover. Otherwise, it might actually, as much as I want it to be like Robot Man or somebody from Doom Patrol, like maybe Dick Grayson as Nightwing.
Maybe I'd throw out Cyborg because he's supposed to be the connective tissue between the Doom Patrol and the rest of the Justice League, who we still haven't met.
Yeah.
So maybe he goes and hangs out with Barry because that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
Also, his powers would be dope.
Yeah, I've also been thinking like, can Crisis get one of the movie people?
I mean, they got Brandon Routh.
But like, I was thinking like, what if they got Ezra Miller? What if it was like all the Barrys unite and it was John Wesley Shipp and then Grant Gustin and then suddenly Ezra Miller for one scene shows up and it's like, what?
What if it's just him like running in the Speed Force?
Yeah,
easy. That's
it's
a lot
stock
easier.
footage. It's just stock footage of it's like in that Doctor Who special where they
run.
Yeah. It's like that Doctor Who special where all the doctors showed up and not all of them wanted to show up, so some of it's just stock footage.
No. We love you, Christopher Eccleston. You're a great doctor.
But speaking of Crisis on Infinite Earths, before we wrap up our review, you can check out our Super TV show coming back. We're going to break down all of our favorite superhero shows, including Batwoman now that that's coming out. And that's starting up next week because all our shows are coming back next week.
Make sure you tune into patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. For as low as $5 a month, you can join us live. You can get audio versions of the podcast. You can watch along with us. There's a lot of stuff we don't want you to miss out on over at patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. And it's so exciting as we lead up to Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's going to be a lot of speculation, a lot of deep dives, a lot of just fun exploration of what we could possibly get in this crossover and what it means for the end of Arrow and for the future of Batwoman and the other shows. So make sure you don't miss out. Go check that out. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. I'd give this episode, I enjoyed it more than last week, but I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
I would give it a 7.5. I enjoyed it overall, but it was like in moments. And then there are other moments where I didn't enjoy it as much.
You know what? I didn't like Dick Grayson doing the thing like, I'm going to be a solo hero, but Corey showing up in that in a cooler moment than what other shows have done.
Yeah.
Really dug that overall. Let us know what you thought. Check out patreon.com/onlystupidanswers, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.